Jayo Rama Madhova Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Vrijanayandana Yashodanandana Vrijanayandana Yashodanandana Vrijanayandana Yamuna Tira Vanadati Yamuna Tira Vanadati Jayo Rama Madhova Kunja Sate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashat Deshatari Dev Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gauravaka Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. There was once a time when there was Narada is a great personality. But this is long time ago. And he went to the assembly of the Devatas. And what he was doing, he was playing some musical instrument. He had come in the company of some, third-rate woman. He had come in a very bad company. In fact, you should not go for worship in that situation. His first offense was that he came in a very company of bad people. None of them were interested in spiritual life. And then fully intoxicated on top of it. And this is his, before he became great saint. And he started singing Deva Bhajan. The Prajapatis and other people there, when they saw this nonsense, they cursed him to become a Shudra. So there are many things to learn from it. The main thing we take out there is that throughout the Vedas, nowhere there is any bhajan mentioned except Hari Kirtana. There is no other Kirtana as per as across the Vedic literatures. Nothing is. Only Kirtana, whenever it is mentioned, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. This is a modern day introduction. Prabhupada said particularly it happened in Bengal, on the one side of the Lord Chaitanya's Hari Kirtana movement. And the Shaktas, Devi worshippers, they created this Kali Devi Kirtana. And it is quite natural for the people in lower modes to run for the Devata. It is just like you take the situation and a person's heart is pinched, it is harassed for the desire for money. And in his heart there is a harassment for opposite sex. Then what he does actually, that man? Practically he becomes an animal. And he starts worshipping the people who can give him these things. He loses his sanity. Not only that, he starts worshipping. Even somebody has that, he starts worshipping him. He's so successful. Therefore, anybody who slips down to Devata worship is a fool. Deva Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says. He says, I give the faith actually. But why do I give the faith? Because he is not entitled. Unless somebody's heart is pure, he is not entitled for Vishnu worship. Either he has to be highly fortunate because he has accepted the word of an Acharya and he is doing Vishnu worship. He may be presently even in Tamoguna. But because by whatever good fortune he has some faith in an Acharya, therefore he has taken to Vishnu worship. Or he has to be a very sattvic personality, definitely a very sattvic personality when he comes to know that when I am going to get any benefit from a Devata, which is temporary as much as the Devata is temporary. The Devata, his benediction, the worshippers all will be smashed to pieces by the force of time. So why I should waste my time? But people whose mind are blown by material desires, they do worship. Even though they may know some philosophy here and there, because they lack faith. We see that how much in this world it is. Little problem in the house, they run to a Jyotishi and he say you worship that Devata, they do that. Show that actually they have no faith in Vishnu. They have no faith. It's just a show bottle, some philosophy they understand, but they have not understood the real thing. Devatas only give some temporary adjustment. They have no power to even remove your karma. It will come some other time, some other way. They will say in the literatures that somebody considered worship of even Brahma and Shiva. Now forget Ganesha. Brahma and Shiva are considered the topmost Devata. Brahma is the origin of all the Devatas. And Shiva is considered the most powerful among Devatas. Yastu Narayana Devam Brahma Rudad Devataya Samateta Nivisheta Sapashanti Bhaveduruvam is considered the great offender who considers worship of Vishnu to be anyway equal to the worship of even Devatas like Brahma and Shiva. Is considered an offender. But today we are living in a society, actually people are atheist. Very sincerely, you cannot be a devoted to any Devata. It is not possible. Devotion is only applied to Vishnu. When somebody goes to Kali Puja or Kali Kirtana, he is not interested in Kali Kirtana. He is interested in the meat he wants to eat after that Kali Kirtana. He is interested in that wine he can eat after Kali Kirtana. He is not a devotee of Kali. It's just a show. They say I am so many things. They say I am now the election is going in Bangalore. They say I am a servant of everyone. They forget there is a famous saying. Servant of everyone is servant of none. And that is the same thing has come to the philosophy of worship today. You open anybody's puja room, see the ocean of confusion is happening. Ocean of confusion. And he is devoted to everybody, that means he is devoted to none actually. And even if he must show some devotion, it is just a pretense. Why? The reason is, worshipper of Vishnu, or it all comes in the category of Krishna Tattva, that is one personality. Vishnu you say, or Narayana or Krishna or Rama, Narasimha. He gets Adhyatmika Sukha. The reciprocation is on a different plane altogether. There is no demand. Moment it is demand, it's a business. But worshipper of a Devata, Devata has no hold over giving you any kind of Adhyatmika Sukha. No, that is not his official position. Personally, all the Devatas are exalted servants of the Lord, no doubt. They all have appointment letters from the Lord. But still they cannot be even compared to the pure devotees, because pure devotees, they don't only have appointment letter. Pure devotees are in constant touch with the Lord. That's the difference between Devata and a Shuddha Bhakta. Devatas are generally Sakama Bhaktas, not the top Devatas. But generally they are Sakama Bhakta. There are millions of Devatas, Sakama. They are devotees, but with some material desire. So they get appointment letter from the Lord and they get delegated some function. But Shuddha Bhaktas of the Lord are worshipable even by the Devatas, because they have Akama Bhaktas. They have no desire. They just want to please the Lord. And this wins the heart of the Lord. Just like we see in so many situations, Indra was bewildered, when Krishna Leela was manifest on earth. Indra got bewildered actually. And he was very upset when his worship was stopped by Krishna. So these are all Sakama Bhaktas. But the residents of Vrindavan, as I mentioned before, they never tested Krishna. They just loved Krishna. And there was no question of any kind of personal motivation for worshipping Krishna. They wanted to give everything to Krishna, what they had. This is pure devotion. Now, what has happened actually, that unfortunately, actually it is not unfortunate in that sense. Just like suppose somebody fails an exam, it's not unfortunate because he has to now pass an exam. Now when a teacher gives a tough exam, he is not creating misfortune for the student. Good student likes exams. So he is giving an opportunity. I don't know, in the school days we had that. Wow, what a paper. We used to enjoy that. But as we come to college level, we hate the teacher. Nobody likes to sit in the front bench, all want to hide. They don't want the teacher should ever see them, So anyway, so the whole system is when a teacher gives a good examination for a good student, it's fascinating. So similarly, Shankaracharya, as we discussed, gave a tough examination. Devi's examination is anyway tough, Durga's examination, and most of the people fall trapped by that itself. Correct? Some enticement Devi gives, some attraction, and people slip for that. She is not doing any harm. Actually, she is helping you. Just like a teacher in a college gives you exam, it is not to harm you. Correct? The teacher has a business to harm you anyway? No. You pass an exam because just like I gave many times an example, unless you exercise your muscles, now how you develop? You are lying in coma for months. Then when you get up, you have to exercise. So the first examination set that Devi gives, different levels of examination, and basically she is giving you an enticement, and you try to come out of it. Yes, now I want to serve Krishna. You come out, come out, come out. And then Shiva comes in, and his examination is even tougher. And his examination, therefore Prabhupada says, the last layer of Maya, that examination Durga doesn't give, Shiva gives that examination. What is that examination? I am giving in the sense of Shankaracharya gives that examination. Aham Brahmasmi. In fact, he himself says, I am going to delude the people. Even Buddha comes for an examination. Buddha also in that way deludes the people. Even because he says, Ahimsa Parama Dharma. Very simple examination. Isn't that true? People say yes. That's fine. So they worship me. They worship Buddha, who is Krishna himself. So in one sense, he also tricks the people. But now coming to the examination system, Shankaracharya's examination is also very tough. Because he said, Aham Brahmasmi. That's a fact. But then, he said, there is no form of God. And we can do Panchopasana, which is a tough examination to pass. Sometimes when information is given, just like we gave the examination of Shukdev Goswami when he was teaching Parikshit Maharaj, he said the people who have difficulties, who have done some vices, they are going to go to hell. So Parikshit Maharaj said, my dear spiritual master, I don't want to see, because he explained the different kind of hellish manners. I don't want to see people suffering. How they can actually stop the suffering which is coming upon them? Is it they can do some prayashita? Then immediately Parikshit Maharaj says, my dear spiritual master, this prayashita means you voluntarily take some suffering to nullify some sinful activity that you have done. Is of no use. Because I was a king, I arrested so many time criminals, I put them in the jail, even beat them up nicely, but I release them, they do the same crime again. Correct? This has been seen so many times. And thieves are that recently they have got that chore, some bunty chore, and the idiot is saying, I am Krishna. I am Avatar of Krishna. That is another nonsense. But the point is that how many times he has been arrested, he comes out again the same thing. So he says, I have seen it many times. Just by prayashita or just by some beating, these people don't reform. That heart is still polluted. Moment you release them, again the same company, same association, and the same crime next day. So also Shunde Goswami says, very good. Actually he was testing him. Then he gives him the higher process, then the higher process. The same way, when the proposal comes of Shankaracharya that actually there is no form of the Lord, personal form of the Lord, it's an examination. During those who are the envious of the Lord, they are moved away. And quite a bulk of people, even today in the Indian society, have been kicked out from the path of pure devotion to the Lord from this examination. They have failed. They are envious of the supremacy of the Lord. They are like this. They are very much like this. Prabhupada says in the heart, that's why we are here in the middle world. Why we leave the association of the Lord, such beautiful company, such beautiful opportunity to serve the Lord. Devatas, what they can give you, a temporary pleasure. And worship of Vishnu gives Ananda Buddhivardhanam, ever expanding ocean of pleasure. There is no temporary pleasure, it is ever expanding. In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, Antavanta phalam tesham tadabhavati alpa vedasham. Antavat. Temporary pleasure, those who want, they go to the Devata worship. Kamasata hita jnana yajanti anna devata. Those whose mind is stolen of material desires, they go to the Devatas. And then Krishna also says, Yehi sanspashya bhoga dukkha yonave evate adi anta kaunte. Adi anta. Antamanta adi anta. Adi anta kaunteya natesha ramate budam. Those who are looking for temporary pleasure, they are not intelligent. Don't go for that, Krishna says. Ramante yogino anante. Go for. We are all looking for continuous happiness. So why don't you look at it realistically? Devata can give you. His himself existence is temporary. His help is only for a short time. So therefore Krishna says at the end of Bhagavad Gita, Sarvadharvan parityajya ma ekam, me only you worship. So it's very practical and very clear. Devatas give you benefit. We have spent a lot of time on that. But they give you the benefit without any warranty. You go sometimes, you get Burma Bazaar, you get a product without any warranty. Anytime to stop. You go to Krishna and take, it comes with protection. Krishna may give you some benediction, but it comes with protection. Actually, there is no need to ask Krishna for anything. He knows. But he is not giving you certain thing. And now, you want to make a short circuit, you go down to a devata. Just like, sometimes it happens in his house, father doesn't give anything, they run to uncle something, some relative, rich, give me that. Father is not giving me that. I wanted that. They do that actually, children do that. Politics. Don't get from somebody else. If the parents are not. The same way, there is no need to ask Vishnu, he knows, he is in the heart of the Paramatma, he knows. There is no need to ask him. Devata are not Paramatma, they don't know what you have, what you don't have. There is to say, I have not asked Devata, that's fine, he doesn't know also what you need. Krishna knows. But a devotee, what he does? He goes to a Devata. Those who are not intelligent or fools, they go to Devata and bribe them. That's called bribe. I will give you this, I will give you this, give me this. Actually, Devata is also an exalted devotee. He is busy. Just like Ganesha, today the discussion is on Ganesha. Because he is holding the lotus feet of the Lord on his tusk, he can bless you. On his own, he is a Vinayaka. V means misleader actually. Vinayaka. On his own. But because he is holding the lotus feet of Govinda on his tusk, he can do something unimaginable power. He has been invested. What is that? Vigna Vihandam. He can remove any Vigna. We all know what is Vigna in Kannada also. Vigna means obstacle. He can remove the obstacle. And the devotees, they are directly at the shelter of Narasimha Deva. We just chanted Narasimha prayer. We ask the Narasimha for the same thing. Dear Lord Narasimha, I am coming under your protection. And if there is any obstacle, he will remove. And what is the obstacle actually a devotee feels? Addictions. That's all. You know, an addict, the biggest joke is, addict lives in a stage of denial. No addict will agree he is addicted. For 100 years of his life he is addicted, still will say, not to quote that idiot, some And a hero, so-called hero, some Khan, he is addicted to chain smoking. And he says, no, I'll stop it tomorrow, I'll stop it tomorrow. Why doesn't he admit he's an addict? An addict cannot de-addict himself. He has to go to somebody who is not addicted. Anybody, he can catch a man on the street who is not addicted. Hear him why he is not smoking and come out of it. He has lost the strength of his mind. The person should understand what happened 50 years. Why not take somebody's help? Now you are having a fever, first we try ourselves. When it doesn't work out, you run to a doctor. Go to somebody who can help you and pull yourself. The objective is nothing to be ashamed. And do you feel ashamed when you go to a doctor and tell, I have doctor, I have this, we don't feel ashamed. Correct? Nothing to feel ashamed when I am addicted to something. You are not the body, neither you are the mind. You are addicted, your mind got stuck into something. That's a weakness of the mind. Either has sankalpa, vikalpa, either it gets attached, either it gets unnecessarily repulsed to something. And you have that problem. Go to somebody who doesn't have that problem and get it out. Get out of that thing. So now what happens is the Devata worship, we are going to a Devata and practically disturbing him. Just like now we are discussing Krishna Katha. Now somebody comes, starts knocking on the door, I want this, what do you say? Just give him some prasad. It happens so many times. They come with elephant also outside and they make sound. What do you do? You send somebody, give him some banana and get rid of it. Actually it's disturbing us. We are not interested. So same way, they may think very great, I went to Devata and I broke coconut and all, as if you praise Devata or you praise Devi, you praise Shiva. No, so you irritated him. All are busy in Hari Kirtana. All the Devatas are busy. You saw what happened to one Devata. Gandharva is almost on the level of Devata. He was cursed when he was doing Devata worship. It's not at all respectable in any higher planet. The worship is done of Vishnu. In Vishnu worship, always he is the Mukhya. He is a Yagna king in the Yagna. He is being worshipped. And from the worship of Vishnu, Prasadam is distributed to the Devata. Yes, that can be done. But there is, people have failed. Most of the India, people have failed in this examination. And they have an idea of impersonal God. And so many Anandas also come. And they confuse the people more. Because see, people work on what the market is there. Market's idea is there is no personal God, God has no form. And you can imagine any form. It is actually atheism. It is atheism, 100% atheism. But that sells. They speak like that only because market, when there was a time devotees came to India, they have not proper said, they were so fortunate not to be misguided by all these things. And they came to India, proper said, you read my Bhagavad Gita very carefully, all the translation, explanation very careful. And they came to India, they really had a tough time. In fact, they wrote a magazine. In my college, I remember, I met a German and I was so blissful. Just few days of Hari Kirtana and Prasadam, so blissful. So I asked the devotee, his name was Prithu Prabhu, he's still preaching in Russia. I said, what do you feel for the condition in India? India, ocean of confusion. Straight is it. And I was so true it is. Whenever I ask my father, tell me some idea about spiritual life, he has one idea, my uncle has another idea, my friend has another idea, newspaper another idea. It's an ocean of confusion. How can science be two? God is one, Guru is one, Scripture is one. It cannot be two anywhere. God cannot be two, Scripture also cannot be two, Guru can also not be two. Two Gurus are saying, two speaking differently, one is wrong or both are wrong. Suppose you hear in one college F equal to MA, other one F equal to 3 MA. Either both are wrong or one is wrong. But one has to be wrong. It cannot be that two things are together to be same. So it is as good as saying whole thing is bogus. So when impersonalism is brought in, and this was a Shankaracharya's exam which people fail, and he gave a bewildering explanation. He says, first thing you can Panchopasana. The lowest level you can worship Devi, the material energy, Shakti. She is the representation of material energy. And then little more, then Surya, you can see Surya which gives all the energy. So Surya Puja you can do, Sun God you can worship. They do this 5 worship. And little more you advance, then you can do worship of Ganesha. Ganapati, Gana means Jana, in counting. And then it's like the boats, walks properly. You can have that kind of worship. And then next you can worship Shiva, Shivoham. A little the level of understanding of Brahman and spirit. Soham, Shivoham, they do that chanting. And little more, then you got to worship of Vishnu. This all-pervading consciousness everywhere. You have no idea of Parabrahman. And actually, all these forms are imaginary. You don't have to worship any one of them. Forget all of them. Ultimately, but in the beginning it's difficult to meditate. So you need some form. So you meditate on any one or whatever form you like. These 5 I offer to you. Panchopasana, this is Shankaracharya said. And actually God, ultimately there is no form. Prabhupada said it is like a ladder. You know, when you want to go from here to above, suppose directly, that ladder will, you put a ladder and you climb. After you climb, throw the ladder. So similarly, now you worship the form, but ultimately you can break the forms. It's a stop, time gap arrangement, utility principle. But actually, when they show devotion to all these 5 entities, sometimes you can see the Mayavadi doing Vishnu Kirtan also very nicely. Avaishnava Mukho Geetam, Udam Harikatamritam, Shavano Naiva Kartavam, Sarpochista Prayo, Tataha. It says, Avaishnava Mukho Geetam, their Kirtan is very wonderful. If you hear that, it is as good as in the milk we have poison put. Milk is so tasty. When you put poison, it becomes wonderful. This is an example. Prabhupada said, how is their worship? Their worship means, my dear Lord, you don't have legs. What does it mean? You are lunga. In North India we say lunga. What do you say in Kannada? Those who don't have legs. Lunga. And then you don't have eyes. What do you say? Andha in English. In Hindi, andha. What do you say? Blind. In Kannada? Huh? Andha. And you are deaf because you don't have ears. Now suppose you go to somebody and you say, my dear, oh deaf, oh ande, lunge, mullule. You know, is it worship or it is insult? Oh you blind, deaf, dumb. What the person will feel. Prabhupada says their worship is not throwing flowers, it is throwing stones. And the Lord is explained in scriptures as Shyama Sundara. Is so beautiful. He's so beautiful that when he was in Vrindavan, all the girls used to think just to marry him. When into Mathura, girls fainted when they saw him. It was so beautiful. Amazingly. And you say he doesn't have form. When the Sanat Kumara, sons of Brahma, when they were to Vaikuntha and they saw the form of Narayana, they were like, oh, so beautiful. That's how the Lord has been everywhere glorified. So beautiful. But from where people have built this impersonal thing, we don't understand. Therefore, the scriptures should be learned with the advice of the devotees. We should be sincere and be ready for austerities and learn with the, and understand the reality. Prabhupada says we like to be a king. We all have that. Recently, some student was coming, I'm sir in depression. Why, sir, my friend got 20 lakh package and I got 4 lakh package. I am in great depression. So basically people are just desiring to be the kings in this world. When that doesn't work out, this proposal looks very attractive. I am God. I like to be the chief minister, I like to be the prime minister, nothing is working out. The greatest of the thing, I am God. I'm very attractive of people nicely. And you see, when we say, you are nothing. You are nothing. Small jiva, like an ant you are. That's what Vaishnavas say. Surrender to the Lord. Nothing. And somebody went to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, I'm the most fallen. Prabhupada saw his attitude. You see, a most of nothing. Basically, that also wants a privilege. I want the most. You are insignificant, unnoticeable entity. Small jiva. Just like ant in this room, what it can understand. That's our capacity is so small actually. That's what Vaishnavas always say. It doesn't look very interesting, exciting. And when this impersonalists come and tell you, you are Narayana, they worship each other as Narayana. They call each other, as if by addressing you become Narayana. You are Narayana, I am Narayana. And they take pleasure in that. Now I'll tell you, just like, two monkeys, they scratch each other's back. Sometimes friends are also like that. They one glorified, they put a photo, he say you look so handsome. Then you put photo, he say you look so handsome. And both are very happy, and they believe that. And they both believe that others' comments are genuine. And just for a formality's sake, I have to put, because a friend, because they attacked me, I have to say now something. So we say, and he believes it. So we all start believing all this thing. We scratch each other's back. So this is not the fact actually. So they say, I am Narayana, you are Narayana, so both feel happy. This is all foolishness. They say when a poor man comes to your house, you should give him dakshina. Why? Daridra Narayana has come. Prabhupada said, very good. Lakshmi Narayana, he is not Daridra Narayana. Lakshmi Sahasra Sadasamyava Sevyavanam. Millions of Lakshmis are waiting to serve him. And he is not interested in neglecting them. That is the position of Narayana. And here Narayana has become Daridra. It's such an insult to Narayana. These are all offensive statements actually. And they are misleading. Not misleading. They are testing the mass of people and they are failing the examination. What can we do? They are not fit to pass that examination. And they fail. Therefore Prabhupada says, there is nothing lamentable in Krishna's kingdom. Cheater is there and cheated are there. Both are brought together. Good. One person wants to cheat. One person is fit to be cheated. Both are brought together. Both are happy. So the same way this is actually going on, but when the devotees came to India, they were very fortunate not to get rid of all this mess. And the fortune was they took shelter of a acharya. Gave them the right path. But when they came to India, they saw the ocean of confusion. And they, very innocent heart, the joke was 25 years was like a senior person in the beginning of the movement. Because all were young. Some even not teenagers. So young actually. And they came to India and very enthusiastic. In fact, they just put their heart on Krishna consciousness. And when they went to meet people and everybody, they got say, what are you telling? Even Prabhupada then giving lectures after that, you can see some people fighting with him. What is this, Swamiji? We have to do Shiva Puja, we have to do Devi, but. Prabhupada said, these Indians, they only bring so many but. You say, chant Hare Krishna, but Swamiji, what about Ganesha, what about Kali? But, they will not accept. Prabhupada used to have some raise hand and say, can we accept Gita, Bhagavad Gita? Can I talk on Bhagavad Gita platform? They will not listen. So the devotees saw the same problem when they were preaching in India. So what they did, they brought out an issue of Back to Godhead, that is the international magazine of the moment, with gods and demigods, not knowing what is going to happen. Next day, the people waiting with stones outside his contemplation. They clearly brought out nothing on, no prejudice. Devotee never any malice against anybody. Correct? We respect even an ant. Why not a devata? But they brought out clearly what is the condition. People just could not stand it. And so many people wrote with so much anger articles against the movement in every forum they could get. And I read some of them. I got so much anger. So many kind of Hindu Jagrana people. So many articles. What are you destroying our Hinduism? This, that. Prabhupada said the whole Vedic culture has collapsed because they forgot the position of Vishnu. They mixed him among the devas. Just like we go to meet a king, we should understand there is a difference between a king and a chaprasi. To make both of them equal is an insult to both of them. You say a chaprasi, you are the king, you are insulting the chaprasi also. You are making fun of him. You tell the king you are a chaprasi, you are making fun of him also. It doesn't work out. So this is how the situation is. But now putting forward in a sweetest way, is that Ganesha is a great devotee. It's a very great devotee. In fact, when Mahabharata was to be written, Vedavyasa had a problem. He had to write something like 3-4 lakh shlokas. And he felt, just like sometimes you have to make a lab record, it's very tiring himself. And he requested Brahma, can you help me? Vedavyasa is not ordinary, he is an empowered personality. Brahma ordered Ganesha, everybody is finally Brahma's child. He said, please go. Ganesha is born as Shiva's child, but originally Shiva's father is Brahma. He ordered him, go, you help Vedavyasa. So the Ganesha came, he is happy, he is a great devotee of the Lord to do the job. And he said, the one condition, you will not stop. In fact, Vedavyasa spoke with such speed that Ganesha was in trouble to write at that speed. People, slow down. And you can see Mahabharata, you will be amazed. It's a poetry in Sanskrit. So It's the most amazing history ever written. You know, everything is intricately related. Without any mistake, the whole scripture was written. Without any, you make some mistake. We write one page, there are 5 grammatical errors, 10 spelling errors. He wrote 4 lakh shlokas without any error. And with the speed that Ganesha was struggling to, and Ganesha is not ordinary, the great personality was struggling to write. He's a very powerful personality. The devotees, basically, we do respect him. He's a devotee of the Lord. As far as the gopis are concerned, they were going to everybody. And they used to go to give us Krishna, give us Krishna, give us Krishna. Prabhupada said for them it is fine because their heart is so pure. But we tell people, like even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came to the tour of South India, he went to every temple. Even temple of Ganesha or Lakshmi or any temple, he went inside and offered all the respects. But point is that if we tell people that you go to Ganesha, then people get in the mood which is there in the Ganesha temple. It's generally not the right attitude. If you go to Ganesha and you say same thing, Yadapala Pallamam Yugam Vinidaya Kumbha Dvande Pranama Samaye Saganadi Raja Vignan Vihandamalamasya Jagatrayasya Govindamadi Purusham Namam Vajrami. Ganesha will be so happy. He will say, in years is the first person I am seeing. So much pleasure it gives. Because, see, you tell Hanuman, you are as great as Lord Rama. He feels pained and insulted. He is not happy. He is insulted his Lord directly. So similarly, when you offer Ganesha worship like your God, he immediately feels pained and insulted. He knows the truth. I am just a servant of the Lord. On his behalf, on his delegation, I have an office. What is the office? Department to remove any obstacles, So, yes, the devotees can go to Ganesha to ask for removing obstacles in the spiritual life. But generally, we don't even recommend that because, once they go there, they get lost in the atmosphere because people are so neophyte. For advanced devotees, yes, for them there is no problem. Even Ganesha they can approach. Please, give me Krishna, give me Krishna, give me Krishna, give me Krishna. So for them it's no problem. It is said in the Nectar of Devotion that when Shiva was once dancing, Shiva was, he's a great devotee of the Lord. In fact, when Rasilila also was going on, when he saw the face of Krishna, beautiful face of Krishna dancing in the Rasilila, the Shiva, all the devatas were watching and the Krishna's supreme pleasure dance. The Shiva started dancing in ecstasy. And Ganesha, his son, who was with him, he also started dancing. That shows he is also a very great devotee. In fact, Shiva later wants to join the pastime, therefore the name Gopishwara comes. He wants to join he also wants to enter the Rasilila and dance, but he is not allowed to enter. Parvati is allowed to enter. Parvati is just an expansion of Radharani. She can enter. She is allowed to enter and participate. She also starts dancing in the Rasilila, but Shiva was not allowed because he was in that mood. Then he is turned into either in the Manasarovar or with the help of Ganesha turned into a devotee, and he also joins in the pastime. Therefore, when he joins, he's so beautiful. He's called He's called Gopishwara. Go and tell it first. Therefore, he's called Gopishwara. So all the devatas are actually very great, and they are happy with the opportunity to serve. Srila Prabhupada ki